A brand new, way too early Big Ten preseason ranking has been released. And man, oh man, I have heard some crazy things. So in today's video, I'm going to react live to it. Where does Nebraska stand? What other schools are at the top of the conference? Can Huskers make a legit push for the Big Ten crown? And then I'm going to react to the Big Ten's win totals for next year, Nebraska's way too early spreads against Cincinnati and a couple other opponents, and a bunch of other random rankings that you want me to react to. So without further ado, we have a lot to get into. It's going to be a fun video. Please hit that like button if you're fired up, or if you're just having a good day, hit that like button. And really quick, if you support the channel, it takes 2 seconds. It really helps me out. Please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, let's get into it, reacting to a way too early Big Ten preseason ranking. But not only that, win totals for next year, spreads, a bunch of other fun random rankings that you guys want me to react to. Again, this is going to be a jam-packed video. I don't even know what we have in store, so make sure to watch the entire thing. But let's just get things started with the way too early Big Ten preseason ranking. This was released by 24/7 Sports not too long ago, just a couple days ago. And we get things started with Penn State at number 1. Now, this has been a common trend that I've seen throughout the offseason so far. People are very bullish on the Nittany Lions, and I get it, right? They have one of the best returning quarterbacks in the country in Drew Aller. They have the best running back room in America with Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. So, again, they're going to be legit, and they might be in the mix to not only win the Big Ten this year, finally, but to actually make the national title game after making the semifinals last year. So I like Penn State. Do I like them enough to put them at number 1? Probably not. I would go with Oregon at 1. I'd probably put them at 2 and then Ohio State at 3. We'll see what 24/7 Sports has, but should be noted, Nebraska goes to Happy Valley on their second to last game of the regular season. That's going to be a tough game. That's pretty much an L for Nebraska. I feel pretty confident saying that, unfortunately. Then, okay, Ohio State at number 2. Again, they got some good players, but there's a lot of questions at the quarterback position, a lot of questions at running back too. So Ohio State, I don't love them at 2. I'd probably put them at 3, but then Oregon at 3. Okay, so that's fine. Again, any Big Ten ranking that has those 3 teams in the top 3, that's what you're going to see. That's very correct. Whatever order, it's fine. Those are the top 3 teams of the Big Ten. All right, now it starts to get interesting because now I can see Nebraska get as high as 4. I'm going to guess this is Michigan. No, Illinois at number 4 according to 24/7 Sports. I don't know about that. And again, Nebraska does not play Illinois this year. They won 10 games last year. They won a big bowl game versus South Carolina. I'm just not buying the Illinois hype. I really not. They got lucky last year a lot. They won a lot of close games. I don't know if that happens this year. Michigan at 5. Again, Nebraska plays Michigan week 4 without Sharon Moore. I like that ranking for them. I think they're going to be a lot better. Indiana at 6. That I would have thought Nebraska would have been put here. I'm not buying the Indiana hype this year. Again, they replace a lot of new guys. They bring in Fernando Mendoza, who's really good out of Cal, but it's going to be tough to replicate what they did last year. It's going to be tough to even win 9 games. They're going to have definitely a harder schedule as well. So don't love Indiana here. I'd expect Nebraska around this range. Yep, here we are. Okay, they put Nebraska at number 7. And again, we're going to react to not only this, but our spreads for next year, win totals, a bunch of other random rankings. But looking at where they put us, I like this ranking. I like where we're at. Again, number 7, you put us above teams, like an Iowa, like a Michigan State, like a Wisconsin. Obviously, Wisconsin's not doing very well. Luke Fickell. You put us even above USC and UCLA, which I really like. So I love this ranking for Nebraska. I would have thought they might have put us at 6. Don't love Indiana ahead of us, but again, let's see what they have to say about us. They say that Raiola is a year older and could be in for a sophomore leap. Okay, I agree. They say that Dana Holgorsen is going to be improvement for the offense. They say that we added a bunch of good transfers. So again, they have some good reasons. I think the talent on this team is worthy of being the 7th best team in the Big Ten. So love this ranking for Nebraska. But again, ideally, at the end of the year, we're top 5. We're top 4. That's the goal this year. I think we're going to be better than Indiana. I don't know if we're better than Michigan, but I know we can be better than Illinois. Like if we're 5th in the conference this year and we're only behind Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon, and Penn State, that is a very successful season. But again, that's easier said than done. So like where Nebraska stands here, a lot to be proved, right? But really, really like that rank for the Big Red. Now, USC right behind us. Again, USC, that's a tough game. We play USC this year, and we play them on the road, or we play them at home, actually. We play them on the road last year. That's going to be tough. I think they're going to be a lot improved from what we saw last season. They only won, 6 games? They barely made a bowl game. I believe they lost that bowl game as well. So, USC, they got a lot of money right now. They've been throwing around money in the portal in recruiting. They're going to be a better team. And then Iowa at 9. Ooh, tough for Iowa. They're at 9. Minnesota, and then, yeah, these are kind of the garbage teams. Wisconsin at 14's nuts. Holy crap. Luke Fickell on the hot seat, question mark? USC, I like UCLA this year. I think UCLA is going to kind of have a better year. So, and then Purdue is the last team. I think Purdue might shock some people, but they're not going to make a bowl game. So, all right, interesting. Now I want to react to the Big Ten win totals. So Nebraska, let's see where Nebraska's at here. Nebraska, I think we're at 7.5. Yeah, we're at 7.5, which is pretty usual. Again, they have wins, according to CBS, wins against Cincinnati, Akron, Houston Christian, Michigan, Michigan State, Northwestern, USC, Iowa, and then loss against Maryland, Minnesota, UCLA, and Penn State. All of the losses are at home, or excuse me, all the losses are on the road. All of the wins are at home. So that's, I don't know if they meant to do that, but I don't love that prediction. I don't love that they think we're going to lose to Maryland of all teams. Maryland's really bad. I don't love that they think we're going to beat Michigan and or Iowa, but we'll see on that. As for the other teams in the Big Ten, I kind of want to see where USC's at. I kind of want to see that. USC also at 7.5. Okay, and they think that USC is going to lose to us. All right. Interesting. And then they got Wisconsin at 5.5. Man, again, we dodged a bullet not hiring Luke Fickell. I'll just say that. We dodged a bullet. All right, let's react to a bunch of other random rankings that you guys recommended me to react to. So this is coming in from the Big Ten Huddle on Twitter. All credit goes to them for making these. But this is the Big Ten teams with the most returning starters. You got Nebraska at 9 returning starters. And that's why I feel really confident about the season. You bring back pretty much a little bit less than half of your team, but you also bring in a bunch of high quality transfers. So Nebraska, top of the Big Ten, or at least the top 50% of the Big Ten in returning production. Again, you got Illinois up there, Penn State, obviously two teams that are being very hyped up right now. Purdue at 1. Purdue has 1 returning starter. That's pretty nuts. All right, the next one. The most lucky to unlucky teams in the Big Ten in 2024. Illinois, number 1. What was I just telling you? Illinois, number 1. I don't know if I'd put Indiana at number 2, because Indiana blew out pretty much every team they played. Like, I don't think Indiana was that lucky. They had maybe in the Michigan game. I can't remember that game too well, but I think that was a pretty close one. I don't think Indiana was that lucky. Maybe they were lucky with how easy their schedule was, but they weren't lucky in game. They put Nebraska at 15. Yeah, I'd put Nebraska dead last, to be honest with you. I mean, we got unlucky. We always do. It's because we're not very disciplined, but we got unlucky against Iowa. We got, I believe, unlucky against USC. A couple missed calls in that game that really killed us. We got unlucky. You could argue we got lucky against UCLA. So, yeah, we got unlucky a lot last year, but I would put us at 18. I would honestly put us dead last. NFL draft picks in the Big Ten and Big Ten recruiting rankings in the past 10 years. We have only had 17 draft picks in the past 10 years. That is really bad. Yikes. Why? Okay. We are 4th to last in the Big Ten in draft picks. Hopefully that changes very soon. That is not a good look for us. Washington, look at Washington at 41. That's pretty surprising. And then the worst Big Ten hires of the past decade. Oh, this is not a great look for us, man. We've had some negative rankings here. So you got Ryan Walters at number 1. Okay, that's fine. Mike Riley at 2. I don't think Mike Riley's 2. I'm not going to lie to you. I think I would put Scott Frost above Mike Riley as a worse hire just because Scott Frost never had a winning season. Mike Riley won, 9 games in 2016? He might have even won 10 that year. So Mike Riley had at least 1 successful season. And he made 2 bowl games. So I put Scott Frost, I put Ryan Walters 1, I put Scott Frost 2. I would put Mel Tucker 3 with how much money they paid him and for him to do what he did. Chris Ash at 4, Mike Riley at 5, and I put Jimmy Lake at 6. So I think that's how I'd do it. All right, last thing that I want to react to in this video. Have not talked about this yet on the channel, but our way too early spread versus Cincinnati is 6.5 according to FanDuel and a couple other sites. Let me know your thoughts down below about that. Basically about a touchdown. I'm not going to lie to you. I would bet that right now if I were a Nebraska fan because I think by game time, that's going to go up to 10. I really do. I think Nebraska is going to be about a touchdown and a half favorite going into that game. With all the hype around the program, you know that the Kool-Aid gets spiked a little bit when we go into July, when we go into August. So if you like that line for Nebraska right now and you think we're going to win, I would bet on that right now because that's going to be a little bit of a steal compared to what it's going to be. I think it's going to be Nebraska by 10 pretty soon here. So as for the line itself, I like it. I think Nebraska is the better team versus Cincinnati. We always lose games we shouldn't, but objectively on paper, it's hard not to like that bet. So let me know your thoughts down below about all the rankings that we just watched, or we just saw, excuse me. The preseason rankings, the win totals, the other rankings. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Hey, if you made this far of the video, hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go be great. Go, Matt Rhule, and I'll see you in the next one.